Nah, this weather, person cannot understand it. Oh, person cannot understand this weather. Person cannot just understand. The heat is not here. The heat is not here. Ah, and worse yet, if you want to take a bath, cold bath, it's impossible because everything is warm. I saw a trending video of a house help washing both her feet in the kitchen bowl, and madam bumped in on her, and she explained her explanation didn't quite make sense. And looking at the girl, she looked like she was 12, 13, thereabout. I might be wrong. And people were like, she's possessed, a demonic thing she was doing. That video was trending as of yesterday when I saw it. Greetings, everyone. I'm your favorite church girl, Vivok. Yesterday, I made a post on Facebook and I asked, is it possible for children to be possessed with demons? As in, is it possible for children to be witches? Then my mind went back to a video I saw also of a girl being beaten with broom, literally beaten mercilessly, and people were praying and praying and speaking in tongues and casting out the devil out of her. And this child should be like 9, thereabouts, and the parents stood by, like literally in support of what was going on. The child is a witch and needs to be delivered, so you need to beat the child. No, the beating I saw. If your child's teacher beats your child like that, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't take it. Then I remembered an incident of a lady who took her children to a prayer house because she believed that her children were possessed by demons, were witches, actually in those words, that the children were witches. And after a series of prayers and all of that, the children were still, being possessed by demons. So the parents brought them to a church where, I'm familiar with the church, and complained that they have taken these children for deliverance and the deliverance hasn't worked, meaning that the demons in the children were too strong and they were resisting the deliverance. Okay, how do you know these children are possessed? About 3 children. Yes, these are the biological parents of these children. The children are failing in school. The children are falling sick every now and then and making the parents spend money on them. I used to know a child close to where I used to live, and the dad spanked him, not with a cane, not with his hands, but with a machete, and the machete marked the boy's head. True story, I'm not saying what I was told. And then people in the neighborhood, they got really mad and they went to the house, even got the police involved. And the parents, the mom was there. It's not like the mom wasn't there, the mom was there. So basically, this was the 3rd son out of 4 children. They had all boys. He was about 2, 3 thereabouts. But if you see him, the guy was looking really, really malnourished, looking really unkempt. And the parents concluded he was possessed. He had a demon in him because he was born with a health challenge as regards his testicles, So he was a demon. In the words of his father, when he was born, he lost his job as a driver and he has not been able to get another job since then. So the boy is a demon, he's possessed, and he has that health challenge that makes him a demon. When the family is going out, the parents and the children, they leave that particular one behind because he's not a part of the family. Oh my goodness. Now, these things have been making me wonder, is it possible for children to actually be possessed by demons? Is it possible for children to be witches? These things people say, this child is a witch, this child is possessed, this child needs deliverance. Is that possible? Is it real? Is it possible? Is it a thing? Growing up, if you know us very well, you know that my dad is a pastor. He has planted several churches, and then he planted our former church in Abuja. And he was always fond of starting churches under the bridge, And then in our former church, I should be like 5 thereabout at the time. Now I'm talking far back as 1987. We used to be like a circle of, not friends per se, but there was just a bunch of us that used to like be cordial in the children's church as of then. And one of my friends at the time, I wouldn't want to use real names here, let me call her Layla. So Layla, beautiful girl, And then on that evening, church was rounding up and this Layla was drawing some things on the wall and they were abstract. And everybody, her friends were just staring, looking at what she was drawing. And then when we couldn't figure it out, we're like, what are you drawing? And Layla was like, I'm drawing witches. These are witches. When you come here tomorrow morning, you see them walking up and down, walking all over the place. You see these witches, walking over the place. And then I started crying. I was like, witches will come and be moving up and down where we are doing church. Witches will be in our church tomorrow. And I was crying really bitterly. Church was closing. We children, even during the weekdays, we had our children's section because we weren't allowed to distract the adults. And the adult church had closed, so the adults were coming out and I was crying seriously. And then this auntie sort of, she came like, Victor, why are you crying? Like, my friend just drew witches on the wall. She said all these things are witches. And tomorrow morning when we come to the church, we will see witches walking all over the place. We don't want to see witches all over our church. And the auntie said, Victory, these are not witches and they cannot walk up and down in the church. Calm down. Nothing like this will happen. This can never happen. I was restless throughout that day, and for a while I was restless because I couldn't picture witches walking up and down. I just couldn't imagine it. And then on another incident, same week, midweek activity, evening service, children in the children's section. Then my younger sister was still a baby, and my mom was always sitting at the nursing mother section. Nursing mother section in the adult church was at the back, just in case the baby started to cry or started to need attention, so they didn't distract the rest of the adults. So where the nursing mothers were sitting was not too far from where the kids were, so we could actually sight them. And on that particular evening, now this is a different evening, Layla got some oranges. I don't know how the oranges came about, and then she was peeling them with her fingers, peeling the skin off the oranges, and then how kids sharing stuff, started to give us bits of the oranges. And then as she was peeling the skin of the oranges, she started to give us, eat it, you eat it, the skin of the oranges actually. And then kids now just being silly and being naughty, being kids. Literally, we started eating the skin of the orange. And as we were eating it, she now said to us, she said, all of you that ate this orange skin, you people will die. The next time you sleep, you will not wake up, you will die. I was like, why are you saying so? She was like, because she's a witch and she has told us that we that ate the orange skin, when we sleep, we will die, we will not wake up. Hey. Another panic stepped in. And I was really a scary child when I was growing up. I was really, really scared of everything, scared of my shadow, scared of everything, literally. So my friends who were with us, we started to get panicky. I was the most panicky of all of them. And I was like, when I sleep, I won't wake up again. I'm going to die. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then one of them was like, go and tell your mom. Your mom is sitting down there. Go and tell her. I said, the ushers won't let me go in. They won't let me go and disturb my mom. They will not let me in. They will not let me in. So we devised a means that I should lie to the ushers that I want to collect offering from my mom. And then they will let me. It works because they let me go to my mom. And then when I went to meet my mom was like, what is it? Why are you here? And then I said to her, Layla just gave us, she was peeling oranges and she gave us the skin and asked us to eat it. And when we ate it, she said she's a witch. And she's telling us that we who ate the skin of the orange, we're going to die. The next time we sleep, we will not wake up, and that's how we're going to die. Mom said, okay, that's fine. And then she put some things together and asked me to lie down and sleep. I said, no, ma. She said, lie down and sleep. I felt like somebody just said to me that when I lie down and sleep, the next time I close my eyes to sleep, I wouldn't wake up because I'll be dying from there. She asked me to sleep. I said, no, this woman wants me dead. There's nothing anybody wants to tell me. This woman wants to make I die. Hey, God. My mom insisted and she actually forced me to sleep. And then I laid there and somehow I battled with myself because I actually wasn't feeling sleepy. But I don't know how it happened. I lay down there. I fought with the sleep, but the next thing I know was I opened my eyes and church had closed. Everyone was leaving and I had been sleeping because the last time I checked, it was someone that was preaching and that was when I went to meet my mom and now everybody was going home. So between then, I actually slept and I didn't die. So I was like, okay. So Layla said she's a witch and this and that and we're going to die. So I didn't die. Is it that she's not really a witch? Now, we grew up to see Layla manifest a bunch of things, actually tell us that she's a witch. She proclaimed by herself with her own mouth that she's a witch. She manifested things. And growing up, we began to sort of distance ourselves, not maliciously though. We just sort of started to create this gap because we started feeling this weird vibe from her. Now, we all grew up to have our own lives. She has her own family. Beautiful lady, never dimmed a bit. And it got me wondering, was she really a witch? Or was she just being over imaginative? Did she just have hyper imagination? Sometimes we see kids who are very hyper and we just believe they're possessed because the kid plays rough, the kid is not concentrating, the kid is not talking yet, the kid is not walking yet, the kid is saying gibberish, the kid is saying so many things that we can't understand. Or the kid is probably deep in their conversations, they're having deep conversations, and we begin to say things like, this child is a witch, or this child is Abiku, what's the word? This child probably reincarnated, Is it possible for children to be witches? Do kids have the ability to give permission to the devil to possess them? So these are questions that are on my mind. I'm not going into demonology. It is not my thing, will never be. But because of the things I have seen in the recent times, kids being, profiled as possessed, as witches, is it possible? And if a child is a witch, how do you deliver a child? Because children don't have free will. They're not mature enough to determine or understand these things. So how do you know a child is possessed by a demon? A child is a witch, and how do you deliver a child from evil spirits? All I can say is that children do go through a lot. When you begin to see your child acting withdrawn, your child doesn't want to talk, you ask questions and the child is not trying to have any conversation, I think it's time for you to calm down and look into what this child is interacting with. I remember growing up then, my parents were like, don't eat food from anybody because there are witches out there. So it is possible that some way, somehow, these children pick up characteristics from other people they're interacting with, or they begin to feel, their personalities begin to feel influenced by others, or they themselves begin to lose themselves because of the kind of interactions they've been having. And it's at this point that I always insist that we should try and know the kind of people our children mingle with at school, in church, in the environment. We should also be prayerful. We should teach them basic survival skills. In fact, let's teach them not to be a longer. Don't eat things from people. My parents had been teaching me not to be a longer. The thing that made me to go and eat orange skin, I cannot understand. So these things we need to be observant about, above everything, prayerful over our children. Because there are things that the devil is out there to do through and in children. And it's none of our children's portion. If they encounter any deadly thing, it shall not harm them. They will tread upon serpents and scorpions and they will overcome. Witches, wizards, they will not have any power over our children. That is my belief. That is my opinion. Let the parents be the first pastors, the first teachers, the first counselors that they have before they go out there. That is what I believe. That is my opinion. I believe that children need to be watched, our children need to be prayed over, our children need to be guided and taught properly, and the children need to be observed very, very carefully. This week is blessed. It's a beautiful week. Pregnant with possibilities, like I say, not cliche. It's our reality in this kingdom. March already. Can you believe it? Just like it's already March. Hey God. Person they all do like play like joke. It's March already. I just believe that March is going to take us forward, upward, higher. It's going to be a beautiful month. I'm feeling it. I'm sensing it. So many things that we have been blind to, things that will prosper us, things that God has set in store for us, that we have been blindsided, things that we have not been able to see, comprehend. This month we are going to grasp, and by the special grace of God, opportunities will not fly by us. We'll grab all our opportunities. It's a beautiful month. It's a beautiful week. Pregnant with possibilities. Grab everything as much as you can. You're victorious. Everybody stay hydrated. Have cold showers instead of hot showers nowadays. Stay hydrated. It's not easy with power failure everywhere. God will protect all of us. God will enable us to survive. We will survive. Have a beautiful week, y'all. Mwah.